Greetings. I am so pleased you are tuning in to Naturally Inspired with Robyn Bridges, a place to explore and deepen your own connection to the natural world, both within and without. Together we will be activating the path of direct experience through meditations, outdoor invitations, readings, and guests who can further enliven us to the power and beauty of living consciously. I would like to read to you today, or this evening, whenever you are tuning in, from my book, Turtle Medicine, The Art of Swimming Sideways. From those who have listened to earlier podcasts of Turtle Medicine, you'll remember that there is a turtle rescue program on the North Shore of Oahu that has accepted donations and allowed those donators to name the honu. And I just think this is such a wonderful practice. And one of them is Kuhina, the ambassador. So I'd like to read you from Turtle Medicine, Chapter 6. Kuhina, a very large adult male, loves to bask on the rocky shores of Lanaikea Beach. He is identified by his uninjured and intact rear flippers, unfortunate as that is to realize. I'm so glad that he has both of those rear flippers. How lucky for him, how unlucky for so many other turtles who don't. I like that he has been dubbed the ambassador. That gives him a stately regal presence and calling, and that he has avoided or just been lucky enough to not be shark prey must also make his life far easier than those who have suffered bites. Ambassadors officially carry the job of representing their countries with the intention of creating or sustaining peace and goodwill. In this case, perhaps Kuhina gets to serve as an ambassador for the green sea turtle species. What an honor. I giggle to think that he probably doesn't know he's been accorded this human job, and yet, who is to say that perhaps he didn't place that name in someone's mind himself? Anthropomorphizing or not, it intrigues me to think about that possibility. A further word about anthropomorphizing. Though often considered a negative and inaccurate form of sentimentalizing and humanizing, anthropomorphizing can also be conceptualized as animating, enlivening, and breathing life into. I like that. While projection, the placing of one's own needs or emotions onto another as having the same needs or emotions, is best avoided, I can still be blessed by finding encouragement through my own consciousness and feeling states. This happens through energetic impressions I get from the way turtles move and how they seem instinctively instructed by creation to be who and what they are. I realize my own impressions of them are just my own, yet they fill me with delight. Those who ascribe to the patriarchal or Newtonian science approach to reasoning that requires linear thought and objective proof may judge animal medicine as anthropomorphizing, but they miss out on the wider field of human experience when they do so. And quantum physics actually is showing how subjective and limited old scientific thought really is, as explained by explorers and authors Rupert Sheldrake, Brian Swimme, Peter Russell, Greg Braden, Arnold Mindell, Ken Wilber, and many others. I must admit of having attended an entire week on quantum physics and having read at least one book from each of the above listed authors, I still barely grasp this field of study. But to hear or read about it still thrills me to the bone. And what I most glean from it is the incredible web of interconnectedness that all things share on this planet. When I get discouraged and existential and wonder how the universe really works at all, I read some basic explanations of this brilliant field of discovery, and my soul returns to peace. When everything is connected, who am I to worry about illusions of separateness? The duality in life may never be more challenging than it appears in our togetherness and separateness. We are born and die by ourselves. No one else can take those journeys for us. We are born in separate bodies, but yearn to merge with others, whether in love, in like-minded groups, or in tight communities. We become attached to those others who help us feel less alone. And we are less alone as a result, but still alone in our own, even when in family or when partnered, can arise. We go to sleep and wake up each morning to ourselves, to our thoughts, and to our plans, even as someone is sleeping right next to us. The reality is that we feel more abjectly alone with someone who does not fit our needs anymore than we ever did when we lived alone. But those living alone can also suffer plenty of their own keen moments of longing to have skin hunger satisfied by the loving hands of another, or simply to be asked as evening approaches how their day was. Having been brought up in a very private, buttoned-up family, I never knew about oneness. Family boundaries were tight, and dinner table talk was more about judging others' differences from us than any similarities we might share. A great loneliness arises from the belly of such talk, a surprised sorrow that this could be all there is, and somewhere suspecting and hoping life was really meant to contain so much more. So I was thrilled to begin to branch out on my own in my teen years and find I could be happily accepted into other families, even if just for a weekend sleepover or occasional week-long trip with them. These other families were more at ease with themselves and each other, laughing and teasing and smiling. It seemed genuine, and I breathed deeper through it all, marveling that life could be that way. Throughout my young adult life, I had to traverse many abandoned places in myself before I found enough courage to fall into the waiting arms of loving others who would catch me. As I began to appreciate others more without judging them, I also found more commonalities. The oneness of likes, hopes, fears, and dreams. The commonality of love, connection, and even disconnection. And the confidence of slowly, with years of learned wisdom, recognize who else would be open to my smile, my embrace, a laugh, a nod. Recognizing what I came to call my tribe, those of consciousness and awakening to their own and everyone's wholeness, taught me that humanity may be one big tribe, and still we may have smaller tribes within that larger group. I know when I meet one of my own now, my heart speeds up. I feel a thrill of lightness race through me, and I breathe deeper all at the same time. My heart opens and expands. We share a commonality of basic values, which includes a great respect for differences. We honor the many in the one. We might be Jewish, Christian, Buddhist, nature lovers, or Celtic tree worshippers, but we believe in the power of love and goodness and the application of compassion to self and other. We know we are all connected in spirit and alive to express our individual souls. I can guarantee you that if you yearn to find oneness with all of creation, you will. But if instead you believe you are helplessly separate, you can find that too. Still, few of us can live entire lives with that kind of isolation. and we are not designed to do so. So the illusion is that we are separate forever, but the reality is that in separate bodies, we will feel lonely from time to time, regardless of our circumstances. Illusion also convinces us that once we are connected to others, all our pain will ease. It won't, but it will help us find our balance point and deep satisfaction in the dance of relationship with all other living things. The illusion is that we are separate, even in ourselves. The reality is that the separate parts of ourselves would love to be connected to each other, and self-knowledge will build the foundation for a strong psyche and spiritual platform, one that helps us act and feel loved by a power greater than ourselves. The illusion is that animals are totally separate from us. The reality is that even though they have much more instinctive reflexes than we do, and probably don't think quite the same way, we can have over-the-top communication and experiences with them that fill us with profound joy, surprise, satisfaction, and connection. Knowing these things can be exciting. Experiencing them is the best way to draw close to the peace that passes understanding. Peace or angst, belonging or abandonment. Which brings you greater peace, and which will you choose? So thank you for this opportunity to read a bit more from Chapter 6 of Turtle Medicine, Kuhina, the Ambassador. Wishing you a good day or evening. I send you blessings. If any of the podcasts you hear are activating a sense of need for support as you grow and evolve, I have a variety of healing modalities which I offer, ranging from restorative ceremony to voice dialogue, ceremony in nature, hypnotherapy, regenerative breathwork, walking the medicine wheel, and divination cards readings. So you can find out more about those on my website, robynbridges.com, Robyn with a Y. So thank you for joining us today on Naturally Inspired with Robyn. And may the content that you have received bless your body, your mind, and your spirit throughout the day and until you tune in again. Please do subscribe to this podcast. It is helpful in so many ways to do so. And share this episode with a friend. Many blessings.